This is a quick start walkthrough video of the Pitch Snitch application. This is for the Android-based version of this application. It should be noted that the Apple iOS version of the application is the most feature tested version of the application. A written document of this walkthrough can be found in the video's description.
All right, the first step you have to do to run our application is going to be to clone our GitHub repository. You can find the link on our GitHub repository and run git clone. After that, you'll have all the files you need to for our Flutter application. So we're going to wait for this to clone our repository into our downloads folder. And so once this is done, our next step is going to be to download Flutter to our computer. So now that this is done, we can go to the Flutter site listed in the instructions, select Windows and Android for our development tools, and we are going to install the zip file containing all the Flutter documents. So we're going to speed this up, and once that file is created, you're going to want to unzip that file. And you can just put that to whatever directory you need, make sure it's in a safe space. So right now I'm just keeping this to the downloads folder. And so then once that's extracted, we can go into that folder and then into Flutter. And then in that bin directory within the Flutter directory, you're going to see all the executables for Dart, which is the language that Flutter's in. So we're going to go back to the Flutter folder and find the path to that bin folder. This is what we're going to need in our path variable. And so now we're going to go into the environment variables for our system, click environment variables, find the path variable, and then we're going to add that location to the bin file into our path. Make sure if you're copying on Windows, you remove the quotations. So then you click OK and OK. So now that's added to your path. So now once that happens, you can go back into your terminal and run Flutter Doctor. This is going to tell you if the Flutter installation is correct, and anything that doesn't come up as a green check, you'd need to mitigate, and it has instructions on the Flutter website for. So in this case, all my stuff is going to be green. No issues found. It installed perfectly. And so then now we're going to download Android Studio. So listed also in the instructions is the link to the Android Studio download. You'll go all the way down and you'll see the download options. So I run Windows. I will install the executable files, agree with the terms and conditions. And once that executable file downloads, we can click the executable file. Here, I skip over it because I wasn't able to screen record, but it's just a normal installation once you choose to execute the execution file. So then once that happens, we can open Android Studio once it fully downloads. And then we can go into the Plugins tab. We are going to look for Dart and Flutter support here, so we select Dart and Flutter, and we want to enable that in this Android Studio. This is a fresh new Android Studio. Now we can go into Projects after we restart to enable that Dart and Flutter support. All right, now that it popped up again, we're going to be going into Projects, and we want to import that Git repository that we cloned with all the Flutter documents. So we're going to click Open. We're going to put the file path of where we just cloned that repository. In my case, it's that downloads folder. And then we're going to open it up. So now we're going to set up the actual emulator, the device that it's going to run on. So we can click the Devices tab on here. It's going to be up in that top right-hand corner, the little phone with the Android. We can also access the terminal as well. So we're going to click that Device Manager. We're going to add a brand new device with the plus button. We're going to choose a Pixel 8 Pro. You can choose any phone you'd like. You can see that these are the settings. We want to make sure the graphics is on software. And then we want to go to the advanced setting, and we want to set the front and back camera to emulated. This is going to spoof the camera into an emulated image of a house or a checkerboard, depending on what version you have. And then we now have the emulated phone set up. So now we can go into the device manager again. We can start the application by pressing that play button, and it's going to start up that phone. We're going to cd into the Flutter directory. It's going to be softball tracker. That's our Flutter application. And we're going to use Flutter clean to clear all the build files that Flutter starts with. This is what you're going to be doing every time you add a new dependency as well. It cleans out everything and gives you a fresh start. So after that deletes fully, we are also going to want to grab the dependencies. These are all going to be in the YAML files within the Flutter project. So we're going to run flutter pub get. Now, if you are running Windows, you might get this error of the red part. This is just a strange error that doesn't let you run it the first time. You run it again, and there will be no errors. All your dependencies will be there. So now you can run flutter run with your emulator running. It's going to compile the application using Gradle, and then it's going to install it right onto the phone, just like that. So now we can expand the phone here and get a better view. This is going to be that start screen, so I can navigate to the start screen.dart once this loads up. And so we can go into the start screen, and you can see that this specific string, pitch snitch, is what you see on the phone. I'm going to add a hyphen in between it. You see there's no hyphen on the screen. Now I'm going to press R into the terminal, and it's going to perform a hot reload, and now that hyphen's there. We can switch it back by adding a space again, press R once again in the terminal, and perform another hot reload, and that space is back. Now you have a fully running Flutter application that you can click through and develop your Flutter project on.